share a story with you today. This story is about a little orphanage. It's in a place called Addis Ababa. It's in Ethiopia, which is a country in Africa, halfway around the world. There's the capital city of Ethiopia is called Addis Ababa, and there's different districts in Addis Ababa. And in one of those districts, in the center of the city, a very, very busy part of Addis Ababa, there is a little tiny orphanage. It's called Kedani Meret Orphanage, and in it, about 150 to 200 kids between ages 3 and 18 live. They're cared for by just a couple of nuns from the local Catholic Church. Each of these kids is waiting on a family to come and adopt them. For whatever reason, their parents have left them, their parents have died, their parents have moved on somewhere else, and they have no one to turn to. They have no family to turn to. Every morning, first thing in the morning, you know what these kids do? They wake up, and a large majority of them head over to the chapel right next door, and they go and worship. They fall down in front of the altar onto their knees, and they start praying. In fact, the service starts at 7:30 in the morning, and many kids are there no later than 7 o'clock, praying for 30 minutes, asking God to provide a family for them, asking God to come and take care of them, praying for a family to adopt them. You each have different types of families. Some good things about your family, some things maybe you struggle with about your family, some things that annoy you about your families, memories that you make that you cherish and you love about your families. There's an interesting thing about families is you don't choose your family. When you were born, did you choose to be born into the family you were born into? No. God chose that family for you. God chooses you for your family. And part of our task is to figure out how to live within our family system and love people the way that God has given us to do that. And that's one of the greatest tasks of the human life. You and I have a second family. We talked about this on Sunday, right? You have your family at home, but you and I are adopted into God's family. Listen to this Bible verse. It's from Galatians chapter 4, verses 4 through 6. But when the right time came, God sent his son, that's Jesus, born of a woman, that's Mary, subject to the law. What does that mean? Subject to law means he lived the same kind of life we do. He lived in a world full of people making mistakes, full of temptations, full of struggles, full of joys, subject to the law, a world that was underneath and lived in sin, right? God sent him to us to buy freedom for us who were slaves to the law. What he's saying is you and I, when we're born because of the sinfulness of the world around us, we are slaves to this world. We do things the way this world wants us to. Our hearts are inclined that way because we are slaves to the law. But God sent him to buy freedom for us so that, and this is what it says, he could adopt us as his very own children. And because we are his children, God has sent the Spirit of his Son, that's the Holy Spirit, into our hearts, prompting us to call out, Abba, Father. Abba means daddy. That means all of a sudden God, who is out there, who made the world, we talked about this, God who's distant, who's powerful, who's all of the things that we cannot even imagine, has chosen to allow us to be in his family. We can call him daddy, just like we would call our dad, dad. By faith, we trust that God knows what is best for us, and we can see that in the way that he set us into the families that he set us into. When you were baptized, the day that you were baptized, God adopted you to be in his family, and the rest of our life, we get to figure out how to love God and how to love the world around us. And we always do that with our church family, with other people who have been, like us, adopted by God into God's family. So here's your task for the next few days before we meet again on Sunday, okay? Ask your parents this question. What does it mean to you that God has adopted us into his family? Can you do that? Then I want you to report what they shared with you this weekend when we get together. See you at 11:15 on Sunday.